What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Yvonne. I'm a doctor in New York City, and I take my experiences in life in the hospital and think about the deeper things in life. And today we're talking about the most important attribute to have in life in dealing with hard things, right? And I think one of the best attributes that a doctor, a business owner, anyone that's doing things where you're dealing with people can have. And guys, that attribute is having a good poker face. So here's what I mean. Sometimes you're flying on a plane. I remember I was going to California not too long ago. There's like a bunch of turbulence, right? So we're on a plane, and the plane is jolting and bolting, and things are moving left to right. The flight attendants are running around. Everyone's looking at their neighbor. Everyone's holding their stomach in, right? Nervous as ever. And the pilot kept coming in there, reaffirming us and talking. I'm sure when they went back to the cockpit, they were super nervous in there, right? But we didn't see it. Sometimes you're in medicine, you're doing an operation or you're doing a procedure, and things go south. The patient's blood pressure starts crashing, the heart rate goes higher, the belly turns hard. You're like, wow, this patient is in hemorrhagic shock. This patient's having a bleed. And the families around you, they're looking at you, doctor, we're so nervous, we're so nervous. You gotta have a poker face. Hey guys, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna do everything we can in our power to save your family member's life, right? And that's what I mean by poker face, right? I juxtaposed it. One time I had to go get like a procedure on my tooth, and I had a dentist. I was like super nervous. I could see his hand shaking. I know you can't really control this, but hand shaking, nervous, telling me that they've never done this before. And it kind of made me nervous. So having a good poker face is the best thing. Sometimes you see people in war and they're under active enemy fire. Like they're literally in the trenches, laying down back to back, and they're being shot at by whatever opposing force of the enemy. And these guys are like, yeah, we're going to get through it. That's that poker face. And I think that's like the best attribute. I had one friend that I knew a while back. We were going through college, and I went through college and we took all the classes, organic chemistry and physics and all the crazy junk, hard classes. This dude was taking it, having 2 kids and going through cancer, and no one knew until graduation. That is what really is like a mark of someone truly exceptional, because he had the best poker face. You couldn't see his struggle on him. He was able to keep it composed. So I think that's a skill in itself. That's like a meta skill. But most people with this poker face have what we call leadership. They have leadership ability. Leadership ability is I think, #1 skill on the planet, right? Being a good leader does not just mean you come in there and say, hey, you over there, you sit there, you stand up, you jump, you scratch. No, being a good leader is also being a good follower, knowing your people, knowing your platoon, knowing your team, knowing every person in there, knowing their life, knowing intricate details of their life, knowing exactly who can be talked to in this way, who can't be talked to in this way, who can be spoken to in a louder tone, who needs to be pulled aside to be given feedback to, who's reliable, who comes in early, right? Who's funny, who's humorous, who's nervous. You have to know the personality types of everyone so you could lead in the right way. So I think that's leadership. And I think you just like naturally fall into it. And every job, everything you do, every career works on you for the next thing. Like right now, I'm a doctor, and being a doctor is honestly such a rewarding experience, right? But it's also humbling. You see that you don't know everything. Patients know themselves better than you know them. There's so many diseases you don't understand. There's hospital systems. There's so many different personality types. There's situations that are just unfortunate. You see a lot of people die. You see a lot of people also born. You see good and bad, right? You see crazy things every day. But this training, this skill set is only what's necessary for the next thing in life, right? So the stress, the hard, the pressure is what's necessary for the next thing. So if you're at home, you're going through it. Let's say you're working construction. I worked landscaping. You were working landscape. We're digging holes in the Southern California sun. Your back is sweating. You're tired. You're sore. Like that training is preparing you for the next thing. You can't hate your plight. You got to accept what you're going through and power through it. This is kind of like my thinking about it. But yeah, a good leader is someone that's competent. And whenever someone sees you and you're in that leadership role, you have to really work on your appearance. Like they're looking at your haircut, they're looking at your smile, they're looking at your eyes. What are your eyes communicating? They're looking at how you're dressed. How do you smell? How do you posture? How do you carry yourself? All these things are like the subconscious cues that are telling me, should I trust you or should I not trust you? And it was said that honestly, whenever you meet a person, almost like 55% of communication is nonverbal. So everything someone thinks about you is what your body language is giving off. You have to control it. You have to understand what are the cues that you're giving. So that's leadership. And then leaders also are people that have creative problem solving, right? So I remember I had a doctor I was working with. He's a cool dude. He's like an army guy, so he was actually pretty like creative and innovative. There was like a flood or a hurricane or something happened in North Carolina, and people were like displaced from their homes. They didn't really have any drinking water. They were put in these high schools that had like shelters, and there was no clean water in the city. So what they did is they took pool water and then they filtered it by reverse osmosis. Guys, don't ask me how they did it. but they filtered pool water. See, that's like a tongue twister. They filtered pool water, got the chlorine out of the pool water, made it drinkable so people in the high school could drink the water. Like, that is like creative problem solving. And that's like the skill set of the entrepreneur, but it's also the skill set of any other person. It's a skill set that we all can do. So creative problem solving helps you bring value to people's lives, but it also makes you rich. You solve a problem that 20,000 people are dealing with, you get rich. There is a language coach that I was going to that has a method of learning languages that helps you learn language or learn the foundations of a language in like 4 to 6 months. I'm going to take my salary, all my income, and give it to that person because, wow, this is helping my life, right? Because he's creatively solving this problem in record time. So creative problem solving, like, we always have this concern of money or my job isn't going to pay me enough. Like, we have to also work towards creating ideas, using our creativity to create products in the world. And once you have the product in the world, it's something people can use and they can exchange money in exchange for that product. But yeah, and then once you having money is better than not having any money because there's so much you can do, right? Life is more efficient when you're financially well off, right? If you need to go to, for example, if I need to go to the hospital, right? There's two options. Option A is take the train. The train option means I gotta leave my house an hour earlier or hour 10 minutes earlier. I gotta plan for delays. I gotta plan for what could happen on the train, all the crazy stuff. Or option B is to take an Uber. The trade-off is Uber costs $35 to $40, but the Uber gets me to the hospital in 17 minutes. The Uber is quiet, it's alone, it's safe, no one else is in there, and I can leave my house later. I can sleep longer, right? You can see how option A, option B are two different options, but I can take the easier, more efficient option, which is the Uber, if I have the financial means to justify that, right? So making money is so efficient. Another example, I ran into this coming home from the hospital, 12-hour shifts, super, super tired. I know I gotta wake up at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. the next day, and it's like 8, 9 p.m. I got things I wanna do. I got personal projects. I wanna do some creative stuff, some cool stuff at home, but I also gotta eat, right? So option A is I sit there, I chop up vegetables, I chop up food, I make rice or I make whatever, stir fry, let's just say I make a stir fry. It's gonna take me 45 minutes to make and eat and then go to sleep. Or I go get takeout. I can get the healthiest thing, whatever, Thai food. I get takeout. It takes me 7 to 10 minutes to buy the takeout. I get home, eat the takeout while I'm able to do some more work. So you can see how like having finances increases your productivity, it increases your output. You can be more creative. It makes life more efficient, right? So that's why like I don't shun money. I think that it's not an evil thing. It's just something that we need to get around in this world. And then you can also have experiences and things of this sort. So yeah, creative problem solving helps you exercise your leadership. And those that are leaders have access to opportunities, right? Opportunities that can provide value to the world and then also, and in fact, make them financially well off. And once you're financially well off, you have access to the best things in life. You can travel to any country in a dime like that, right? You can see things that you wouldn't see if you weren't in that situation. So for everyone at home, like I think that, you know, one, having this skill of leadership, having this skill of creative problem solving, having a good poker face in the face of adversity would only help you. One thing I want to say before I go is the importance of winning your mornings. And what I mean by that is like using the morning as a time to get ahead in your life, using the morning as a time to like work on yourself, do creative work, do the self-improvement work. I see that a lot of my days are gone from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You're working a shift, right? So there's not really much you can control in terms of the day. You can't really control what you're going to see or how much work you'll do. But if you wake up earlier, you can lift weights in the morning. You can do some writing. You can do some music if you like music. You can make some videos. You can make content. You can edit. You can learn a new language. You can study. So the morning is like the only time where like the world is quiet. No one is bothering you. You can turn your phone on, turn off. You can turn your phone off. You can lock in. So the morning is like the secret recipe. And I've learned to like do the most important things in the morning. The things that I know are going to move the needle. Are going to help me become the person I want to be. So guys, I hope you took something from this video. Creative problem solving, having a poker face in the face of adversity, and not hating money, because money isn't evil. Money is just a means to help to live the life that we need to live. With that being said, guys, thank you. My name is Ivan. These are my insights for today. Out.